So, the full leaks for Boruto Chapter 10, 2 Blue Vortex, have finally come out. And this chapter is not like any chapter I've read in Boruto, because the type of action that we get in this chapter is completely different. And we start off with a beautiful cover. The first thing that I thought about when I saw this cover was not anything that had to do with Naruto, but a scene in Attack on Titan, the one where Eren is looking directly at his father and telling him what to do. Because what we are seeing right now is Kurama, who is right next to Himawari's ears, and this cover is absolutely beautiful. The background is that space where Jinchurikis are able to talk with the tail beast that is sealed inside of them, and we see a bluish background, a little light, and we see a mini Kurama and Himawari. I think this cover is simply a 10 out of 10. We can't translate the text right now, so I don't know exactly what it is saying, but when the full chapter comes out and it is translated, I'll let you guys know. And we continue where we left off, with Team 10 alongside Himawari, who are making their way outside the village, and we're finally leaving the village. We're going to be seeing them leave the village in a few pages, as we literally hear from Shikamaru in the pages to come that they are planning on leaving the village so that if damage is being made, nobody will be hurt and they won't have to rebuild, crazy like what happened in the Pain arc. We see some trash shinobi pull up with Konohamaru, so we have a collection of trash shinobis, but Boruto is still struggling with his karma. I can't translate the text the way that it is leaked right now. It doesn't really come with the context that we used to have when Abdul was the one leaking it, but we'll take what we can get. We can still see that Boruto is still dealing with his karma issues. We have Shikamaru, who alerts Kawaki that Jira and Hidari have made their way to Himawari, or at least Jira, because it seems like Kawaki didn't actually know that Jira was going to go and meet Himawari. As when Shikamaru told Kawaki about that fact, Kawaki was like, yo, you should have told me this a long time ago, or I would have went directly to Himawari. So for all of the people who were saying that Kawaki doesn't care about Himawari, you are simply wrong, as we have proof right here that Kawaki just didn't know that Jira was making his way to Himawari. Delta follows Kawaki, and it might seem like we're going to get Kawaki versus Jira again, or maybe Kawaki won't make it in time for them to be alive. We'll see as the chapter progresses. But just as I told you guys, this chapter is a lot darker than the chapters that we used to get in pre-time skip Boruto. I did expect the theme to change and be a little bit darker, but what happens in this chapter kind of surprised me. I just didn't think it would happen this fast. We have Boruto, who is talking to Shikamaru and saying that he took a minor hit and will be recovered after a little bit of resting. He doesn't tell them about the problem that he is having with the karma, as they probably wouldn't trust Boruto again, and it could raise suspicion about Boruto potentially being a threat to the village. Jira makes his way and continues to pursue Himawari, while Hidari stays there and confronts the ninja who are approaching him. Konohamaru is one of those ninjas, and they seem to have a conversation. I don't know exactly what the conversation is about, and we'll probably find it out in the chapter that fully comes out and when people end up translating the text, but they have a pretty lengthy conversation, and then Sarada and Sumire appear. And immediately after that, Hidari goes on the offensive, and we have him place claw marks all around Sumire and Sarada, and he also places claw marks right next to him, and the speed at which he does so seems to be quite surprising. Both Sarada and Sumire reacted to the claw marks, but Sarada is the only one who reacts to the Chidori that Hidari is pulling up with. And this is crazy. I really love what we're seeing right here. We see a Sarada who activates her Sharingan, the 3 Tomoe Sharingan, and we have her dodge Hidari Sharingan. And just like I was trying to say, I know that there's going to be some sort of a sidekick, some sort of a move that she is going to use in retaliation, and she ends up surprising me even more by dodging Hidari's Chidori and then pulling out a Chidori of her own and ended up hitting Hidari. We are seeing right now Sarada pulling a valiant performance right now. Hidari has been hit and he stumbles a bit but regains his footing. and Sarada deactivates her Sharingan. I've seen a lot of people talk about the fact that, oh, Ikimoto only draws Sarada with her Sharingan for 3 pages or 2 pages, but no, that is not the case. We see that with Sarada, she doesn't have the same chakra control and the ability to withstand the strains that the Sharingan puts on her body, and thus she activates it only in times of need. This is because of the fact that she is a hybrid Uchiha and not a full Uchiha. We saw the same thing with Itachi's girlfriend, or the girl that liked Itachi. She was also a hybrid Uchiha. Thus, when she used her Sharingan in combat, she would activate it for a period of time, and when she didn't need to, she would deactivate it to minimize the strains that the Sharingan would put on her body. Now, we end up going back to Sarada and the mini Kurama. They seem to have a lengthy conversation. I don't know exactly what they're talking about, but to everybody around Himawari, it appears like she is knocked out unconscious. Jura continues to pursue them, and even though they are flying using that bird, he is right next to them. He is closely pursuing them. Himawari and Kurama continue to have their conversation, and unfortunately we do not know what they're talking about, so it's going to be very interesting to find out what Kurama is saying, what explanation Kijimoto is giving us for Kurama's comeback. But during that time, we have a Jira who yet again uses his eye to make a Biju bomb, and that Biju bomb is not the same Biju bomb that we saw before that was big and exploded. This one is a one that is more precise and ends up cutting one of the bird's wing, thus causing it to fall. We have Chocho who makes herself bigger to allow the people not to fall and take a lot of damage, but we are now in a new location. Finally, we are away from the village. Both Jura and Team 10 didn't want to damage the village. Jura didn't want to damage the village too much because of the fact that there are libraries and books that he can read on, so because of that, he didn't want to destroy the village and thus allowed them to run away and him pursue them. But Team 10 also didn't want to do the same. Himawari didn't want people to get hurt due to Jura's attack, so it ended up working out for both of them. Kurama and Himawari continue to have some sort of a conversation. I don't know exactly what they are talking about, but Jura continues to make his way towards Team 10. He is walking ominously, and this is where we're going to see Jura. Jura really isn't like any villain that we have seen before. Maybe Ishiki comes close to mind, but what Jura does in these next few pages actually scared me quite a bit, because Himawari tries to attack Jura, and clearly it wasn't going to work as Jura literally grabs her leg. But as he grabs her leg, without displaying any sort of emotion, he literally breaks her leg and ends up turning it to a complete different location. We have Himawari who falls to the ground with her leg to a 100-degree angle. We have Inogen who ends up using his beast mimicry and sends out some sort of a tiger towards Hidari, but Hidari, without even looking at it, pops out his wood style and ends up destroying it. This is where I thought all of it would stop. We would see maybe Himawari go crazy and do something else, or Kawaki would pop in and save the day. Team 10 doesn't seem to have that plot armor that we used to see back in the days. As Inogen, we saw the flags. I was mentioning the death flags for Inogen, and I really didn't think it would have happened this early, but Inogen really wanted to make sure that he ends up protecting Himawari. And by trying to do that, he literally ends up getting killed. As we have Jura who pierces Inogen in the stomach and creates this big hole. And at first I was like, okay, it's going to end up being a shadow clone, or it's going to be some sort of an ink shadow clone. But nah, it is actually Inogen, as he stays there as the wood style continues to impel his body, creating a bigger hole. And the reaction from Chocho and Shikadai is something that they have simply never experienced. We have a Chocho who puts her hand in her mouth, shocked at everything that is happening. Shikadai has a very big expression that we never usually see from him. I really wonder what is the dialogue that we see from Jura, but what we're seeing right here is crazy. The death flags are definitely confirmed, and it seems like Inogen is dead. And we have Himawari who starts to cry. And damn, this is actually crazy. Let's take a step back and just think about everything that is happening. This is very dark. I won't even lie. This is surprisingly dark. I didn't expect Inogen to die, at least not this way, without even putting much of a fight. It was crazy. But yeah, Jira is simply on a different level. He really gives off some Ishiki and a little bit colder vibes. I've never seen Ishiki just kill those opponents. Even when he pulled up in the anime, he didn't even kill the Konoha 11. But we have a Jira who, just like he said, unfortunately, if you continue to resist, I will kill you. And he did just that. However, this causes Himawari to awaken some sort of powers. She goes in the typical Naruto rage mode, and this rage mode is definitely justified after what she literally saw. We have a beautiful panel here. I really love the paneling that we have right here of Jira with Inogen, who is pierced using the wood style, and we have Himawari, who is transforming in a similar fashion to Kushina back in the days. We literally see her with the long hair like she used to have, but apart from that, she doesn't really have the cloak around her. It seems to be a more tamed version of that form, as Kurama isn't hurting her body in any sort of way. Himawari is able to free herself from the trees that Jira had put around her, and she makes her way to attempt to fight Jira. And this is crazy in my own personal opinion. What we're seeing right here, damn. Bro, I want the next chapter right now. I need to know what's happening because this is actually crazy. I'm kind of lost for words with everything that is happening. This is something I didn't predict would be happening so quick. Everything is moving so fast in this arc. We're seeing Hidari versus Sarada for the next chapter, but also Himawari going crazy with Kurama's powers. And with a few of the translations that have gone out there with some of the fan translations, so definitely take it with a grain of salt, we have an understanding that Himawari using Kurama's powers is going to be a lot stronger than Naruto because of her genetics. And just like I've been saying with videos in the past, the genetic information that Himawari possesses is going to allow her to be that top tier type of fighter, as she not only has Otsutsuki genes, but she has Tail Beast genes from both Naruto and the other Tail Beasts that have given Naruto power. So as Kurama said in the chapter, Himawari has a greater affinity to his powers compared to Naruto. So because of that, we could see a Himawari who is a lot stronger than Naruto using that power. And since Kurama is going to be teaching Himawari, I don't know if it's the same Kurama or it's a different one, but regardless of whatever Kurama it could be, there is no reason why Kurama wouldn't be helping Himawari, and if they do end up teaming up, I really wonder what is going to happen to Jira. Obviously, I know that Jira is not going to lose, but I really want to see the different abilities that Himawari displays, as I haven't seen a jutsu that could be, oh, this is Himawari jutsu. No, it's just taijutsu that I've seen her use, so maybe we're going to be seeing her infamous style, but I really like the choices that they have here. We have Himawari with just the long hair going crazy. I don't know if she's going to be able to use it, but the paneling in this arc, I like the paneling, everything that we're seeing, the way it is done. I really enjoy everything that we saw in this chapter. And to me, this is a 10 out of 10 chapter. It's just the pacing is immaculate. Everything that we're seeing right now, just from the spoilers, not even the text that we're seeing, it's simply a 10 out of 10 to me. And I'm starting to get kind of like impressed, but like, damn, okay. Kijimoto and Ikimoto are going crazy. And yeah, this has been a constant theme throughout the time skip. The spoilers are amazing. The art is just getting better and better. The focus, like, I feel like the story has a direction, a path, and I really enjoy it. So let me know what you guys think about the spoilers so far. This is a crazy time skip. Let me know any concerns, questions in the comments, and I'm out, bruh.